Hey everybody, this is Amelia with Quick Property Solutions. Shooting a video today because I wanted to talk about investing in Warren, Michigan and some of the websites that I use to analyze properties and to find out the property values in the area. The three websites that I like to use is Redfin, Zillow, and I also use a website called Rentometer or Rentometer. I'm not really sure the best way to say it, but so let's start off with Redfin. As you can see here, I got the name here, Warren started up. But what you could do is you could just type in a city, and it comes up. If you wanted to type in a certain zip code, like 480, I think 48089 is actually a Warren zip code. You could type in that in as well, and then it'll zoom in on that. So let's just do Warren, Michigan first, and just see how that turns out. Okay, so you see here the listings in green are the ones that are currently listed on the MLS. Now, if you want to analyze properties and find the values, you have to go and get the sold comps. So what I like to do is you click over here on filters, and here you can control like how many bedrooms you want to see. Let's say if you're rehabbing houses, some people want to do 3 bedrooms, so you can control that. If you want to do multifamily condos or homes, you could do homes, so that'll cut down some of the selection there. And then what I do is I go to sold, and it'll turn it blue. Now, once it turns it blue, um, once you start zooming in, you'll start to see all the comps in the certain areas of Warren. And these are all the comps in the last 3 months. You could narrow it down to 6 months back. You could narrow it down to last month. But the average is 3 months. So let's stick with 3 months. And you'll notice this black line around the city of Warren. That is the whole city of Warren. So what you can do is you can narrow it down. So let's say if you scroll over these houses too, you could it'll highlight on the map where they are. I like to sort by price. And a lot of the times you'll see like these lower end deals. These are deals where they're bought for cash and you're usually bought as is. This one actually looks like a rental, so you could put a minimum here too. You could filter it by minimum. So let's do 100,000, and it should cut it down by a few. You could even do the zip code. So let's say this zip code right here is 48089. You could, let's just get this out and just type in 48089. And it'll zoom specifically on that zip code in Warren. And let's see, if we do the minimum, you'll see probably more sold comps pop up down here, because some of the sold comps here are lower than the ones that are just north up here. So let's say you're trying to find a rehab, and you're finding an area in this property, in this area right here. What you could do is, I sort by price, and then usually I just scroll all the way to the very bottom. You click on these different pages. Let's say you have to find brick ranches, and there's different colonials of brick ranches, so we could use these are the sold comps for brick ranches. You have colonials. The one thing I will say about Zillow, sometimes they're wrong about the square feet. So I don't know if they factor in the basement, but sometimes the square footage of a house is almost double than what it really is. But if you look here, they have the last sold price, they have the date here, or like when it sold, the price per square foot, and you could do stuff like the price history. You could do listing details. So you could find out the rooms, if it has a garage, find out if it has a basement, a crawl space, or slab. So that's how I found comps in Redfin. Oh, and a lot of the times too, they'll have the description. So if you're a rehabber and you want to find properties that were recently renovated, this is where you would read it under here, and then so you step into the 2018 remodeled home. So let's close these out and let's jump over to Warren. on Zillow. So what you could do is just type in Warren, Michigan. And the interface is just a little bit different. So what you could do here is you could tab here, and then a lot of the times the for sale is on, the potential listings for rent is on. You want to X these all out, go under solds, and then here you can pick the price range. You could just do 75,000 if you want. I'll change it up. You could decide how many beds, minimum beds. Let's say you only rehab 3+. And then if you go here, you have different filters here. Square feet, lot size. Let's say you want square feet of over 1,000. And then sold in the last, let's say, 30 days. This is where you could choose the length of the last sold. And then you could also filter by lowest to highest. And the one difference too that between Zillow and Redfin, both of them have their pros and both of them have their cons. I personally like Redfin, using Redfin more than Zillow. However, Zillow is a little bit more accurate when it comes to the square footage. For some reason, I don't know why, but Redfin doubles up the square footage. And also, the sold comps on Redfin don't show any sold pictures. So you can't see the pictures from the comps. Zillow doesn't show them all the time. Like for instance, this is a sold one that sold, this was literally 2 weeks ago, but there's no pictures of the sold house. However, sometimes they do show it. And it's just a different little layout. You know, you have the year built, and then if you want to see more features, you could see that it was a basement, things like that. This is where you could even find. Also, another thing too is the tax history. You can find out the taxes here, or you could just type in Warren, Michigan, and then type in the pay treasurer or pay taxes online, and you could type in any address and it'll show you what the taxes are. But the tax history sometimes is a little more accurate in Zillow than it is in Redfin. The third website that I wanted to talk about was Rentometer, and Rentometer is a website that you would use where you want to find out what the market rent is in the area. So this is more for a buy and hold and not a rehab. So let's take, for instance, which property are we looking at here? We're looking at the Thomas one, right? We could just pick any of these houses. We could just pick this house right here. So 11116 Acala Drive in Warren. Just highlight that. And you see that it's 3-bedroom. So let's say you want to buy this property as a rental. We just go over here, type in the address, Warren, it should autofill. Boom. And rent, you just guess. I mean, it could be 800, could be, you know, and it was 3-bedroom, could be 800, could be 1,000. Just guess, and it'll tell you how close you are. And all you got to do is click on Analyze Property. What it'll do is that it will collect all the rents in the area using an algorithm. I'm not sure which websites they use, but they use an algorithm to get it, and it's pretty accurate, to be perfectly honest. So what they'll do they'll show the average is $958. So $950 is the median, and 80% is between $825 to $1,100, and then 60% is $850. So that is a really good website to use. So those are the 3 websites. I use a few more like Trulia. Sometimes I use Trulia. I use Google Street View a lot. And those are some of the websites I use as well. But the Google Street View is pretty self-explanatory. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment. I also have other videos about investing in Harper Woods. I also do some investing in Detroit, and we're rehabbing properties out there in Detroit as well. And if you have any videos or cities that you want me to cover, please comment below, reach out to me. If you're a cash buyer, please visit our website, quickpropertysolutions.co, and there's a tab that says Cash Buyers List. Just sign up there, and then you could be part of our private cash buyers list where we're sending out wholesale deals on a weekly basis. And we hope that you like the video, and we will see you soon.